Last week, I posted a video on why government investment pools are a smart piece of your investment strategy. Having said that, this week I have 2 points to make. Number one, it's your job to manage your city's investments. Abdicating it, putting out all your money outside of checking is irresponsible. And number two, if putting all your investable cash in the state pool is your strategy, you're missing out on yield under normal investment conditions. So again, you're not serving your city. But the point of my videos is to teach, not criticize. So let me explain why putting all your money in an investment pool is a bad idea. This is a short video and there are 2 important lessons to learn. So please stick with me. Safety, liquidity, and yield. Government investing boils down to these 3 words, in that order. Your investment policy says so, and so do your state statutes. This is so fundamental it bears repeating. Your checking is your safety, your investment pool is your liquidity, and your investment portfolio is your yield. But we don't invest until our safety and liquidity is assured. Just like at home, we never want to bounce a check. We also want to maximize yield, but safety of taxpayer money is your first priority. Liquidity is second, because in order to invest taxpayer money long term and earn interest, you have to be certain you'll never have to sell an investment at a loss for less than you paid for it or less than the face value you'd get if you hold it to maturity. Of course, too little safety is bad, and yet too much safety isn't good stewardship because safety isn't your only goal. If all your city's money is entirely in checking, you're 100% safe, and if it's collateralized properly over FDIC limits, and it is 100% liquid, but you've got little or no yield. On the other hand, if you have too little in checking and too little in the state pool, you risk having to sell an investment at a loss, because of course the market value drops at the most inopportune times, right? Liquidity is always your second goal, your second priority. A government investment pool provides terrific liquidity, but the whole point of this video is to avoid putting all your money in LGIP. Putting too much into liquidity means you're shortchanging your city on funds that could be invested for higher yield. And LGIPs with short average maturity, like in my home state of Washington, all my city's money in the LGIP will earn less interest very quickly when rates fall, and that's volatility I can avoid. Of course, having too little liquidity in the LGIP, I have the same risk of selling investment loss we just discussed. So let's look at yield. LGIPs do earn yield, having assured safety and liquidity first. Piggybacking on that earns your money the same yield. But pay attention to the investment pool's average maturity. If the pool has an average maturity of about a month, they're buying 60-day investments, which isn't very far up the yield curve. Under normal conditions, investing funds for 3, 4, or 5 years will get us higher yield. If you're managing millions, that interest is substantial and it pays for taxpayer services that don't have to come from taxes. We don't know rates in the future, but laddering maturities smooths our reinvestment risk and also smooths our budgetable interest revenue. The trained staff is not the best reason, but it's the most frequent reason small governments put their money in an investment pool. If your agency has little or no staff resources, putting all your investments in your state's LGIP is no excuse for learning how to do it just a little better. You might be outsourcing your investment portfolio management, but you still have to know how much you can give them to manage. You are responsible for managing your safety and liquidity and letting them manage your yield. Become trained. You're still responsible for your local taxpayers' money on deposit with you. Attend your state's finance and treasury conferences. Learn from those around you. Listen to your peers who have 3 things: knowledge, experience, and willingness to share. I'm thankful to those who shared with me. Here's how to start. Take inventory. If your agency doesn't have the historical trend of cash balances month by month for 5 years or so, you need to create one. Start now. I use 3 categories that coincide with safety, liquidity, and yield. This is worth repeating. Cash in your checking account is your safety. A sufficient balance will always prevent bouncing checks. Long-term investments, such as a laddered portfolio of treasuries and agencies, is where you invest for yield. Your LGIP balance is where your liquidity is, and that's where you want to keep your ebb and flow of seasonal changes. Your third priority is to invest for yield, but be sure that month in and month out, your liquidity is sufficient. Just don't put it all in your LGIP. Chances are your agency's investment policy already authorizes you to put money in your local government investment pool and in other long-term yield-producing investments. Your investment policy is the single most important thing you need to understand and implement with a strategy that you know fits your city's cash flow. Make sure that safety and liquidity are your top two priorities. Take slow, careful baby steps to learn and implement what you learn. Don't just put all your investments in your checking or in your state pool, but learn the right mix for your agency. Be sure and watch my previous video on why you should make your local government investment pool one of your key tools. A government investment pool definitely has a place in an overall strategy. Please invest in yourself. Learn how to take responsibility for your agency's investment policy, strategy, and procedures. By learning basic foundational investment best practices, you'll serve your agency better and the people whose money you're managing. The best way to be a more valuable public servant is to decide to seek the good of others, not yourself, putting others first. Our success lies in helping others succeed. This video aims to help you because it's your efforts that will contribute to the success of your city and make it a better place. Thanks for watching.